Hey everyone, what's up? This is David, and today a special kind of video about social media and using it to promote your podcast, or maybe not, who knows. I am active for our podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I try to post something every day that relates to this show to get people interested in it, and I've been looking at the stats this last few weeks, just trying to see, is it vital to have a social media account? I believe it is, but then we have to ask ourselves, what are we accomplishing, especially those who kind of do it all for a show, create the content, create the graphics, post on social media, try to get interactions and things like that. So I've looked at and I'm gonna be looking at my phone here, looking at what does a post get, and so I have written down in my notebook here what we posted, how many followers we have, and then what is the impression, it's the term most of them use, what is the reach you're getting with a post. And so let's just start with Twitter. It's the one where we have the most followers. We have 2,065 followers. So not bad, it's obviously you always want it to be more, but that's not bad. It's people we built up over time doing the show. And so I made a post for episode 229. I included a graphic, which is right there. And just basically a graphic, title of the show, and maybe people would be interested in that. I thought it was a pretty good one. I think they're all pretty good, but some are better than the others. This one was a pretty good one. So I posted that the morning Friday after the episode posted. And of the 2,065 followers, we had 160 impressions. That means 160 people of the 2,065 saw the post, which, doing the math, that's 7%. I don't think that's really good. Now, we move over to Instagram. Now, Instagram, we have a smaller follower. We have 599 followers. And did the post the same day, and it got 189 impressions, which is kind of weird because Instagram, less followers, more people saw it. That was 32% of our followers' numbers saw it. Now, other people saw it through hashtags, use of things. Hashtags are very important for that reason. But 189 people saw that one. So I was like, all right, that's 32%. That's pretty good. We moved to Facebook, which is by far the worst one of all. Facebook, we have 327 followers. Posted it, 11 impressions. That's 3%. 3%. Whoa, man, that's not good. So I took our total followers. We have 2,991 followers across all three platforms, and we had 360 impressions, which is about 12%. Okay. Now I've always thought, and this is my theory, there's no evidence behind it, but I've always thought of the people that are following you, that see your post, I think you should expect around 10% to see it and to listen and to engage. So if we break that down, 2,991 followers, 360 total impressions, that's 12%. So it's above the average of what I think, but I think that's 12% of 360 impressions is 43. So that means, according to my math, I think 43 people would have listened to the show based on the graphics. I don't think that's really good. So I'm making this video really to kind of get your guys' thoughts, opinions, suggestions on how to grow that social media base. Now, I use Twitter probably the most because to me, it's the easiest to use to speak to other people. Instagram's great, but it's pictures, and unless you're going and just replying to everybody all day, you're not going to get the same kind of conversation flow you get on Twitter. Now, what bothers me about Twitter is we have over 2,000 followers, and like I say, generally only 100 people see each post we make. Exceptions are if someone really famous retweets it or replies and then their followers come in, you can get higher numbers that way. So maybe that's one way to do it, but I don't know, it just seems like a shot in the dark. Now, you can pay to get your post moved up. I did that on Facebook. The numbers were much higher, but I look back at our Libsyn stats who host the show. I didn't really see a big jump. So I guess people are just saying, oh, cool picture, whatever. So obviously you can do pictures, text, or you can do video. Now Headliner's a pretty cool website that will take a snippet of your audio. You can attach it to a video. We do tend to get some good responses out of that. I don't know if it's really getting people to check us out. I'm not real sure about that. It's hard to say truthfully. So what is the game plan for you, those who have a successful social media following? I've always said, it doesn't hurt to be famous and attractive. So, we need to think outside the box on that one. So let's see, a lot of people have 7,000 followers, but they're following 7,000 people. And I don't want to see all that clutter on my timeline. I tend to follow people that I find interesting or we have some shared interest. I just don't want to start grabbing followers and then your timeline's 10,000. Then you're not being able to engage with your actual group that follows you. So I don't know. What could you do? The video thing does help. Clips of the show, obviously, I think that helps. I thought for a long time graphics work. But I don't know. I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not really getting the results I want. What's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So at this point, you can almost accuse me of insanity. You would imagine guests are a good way to get people on there. And one of our most popular episodes of all time, we had Leland Statham of News Channel 5 here in Nashville on the show. Big time numbers. Now, obviously, those people did not follow us over to the next few episodes. I've heard people suggest podcast crossovers, which are cool. We've done some of those. I've been on some other podcasts. I haven't really seen much. I haven't seen the numbers really spike too much for that either. Is it going to be a repeated thing? I guess at the end of the day, you just have to ask, is what I'm making something that a lot of people want to hear? And possibly not. Our podcast features myself and John, my longtime friend, practically a brother to me. We discuss pop culture. We discuss, current events. We like to do our Mount Rushmores now, where we break down pop culture, wrestling, movies, music, things like that. And I just feel, that would appeal to the geek community, but I don't really know how to reach those people. And honestly, I do the podcast, A, because it's fun, and B, I do it because I enjoy it. I don't want to spend a lot of money doing this thing. This is essentially a hobby. It's nothing I'm ever going to do. I'm not going to do it for money. In an ideal world, sure. If if Nerdist or Spotify was like, hey, we want to sign you this big deal. I would do it in a minute and I would do it, put all my heart into it. But as for now, I have a job. I have a family. I'm in college part-time. I have friends. I have things I like to do. And so I don't see myself putting 8 hours a day work into it. I do put hours into it some days, and I think about it quite a bit. But what are some suggestions you might have? And do you see these impressions? Is it kind of the same for you? And I know a lot of people don't want to share some of that information. Oh, it's insider thing. I'm giving it all to you right now. I'm telling you what our impressions are. I'm telling you who our followers are. And I'm telling you, it's just, I want a bigger number than 12% here. It's not really that good of a number. I would 20%. Because at the end of the day, it's how many people can you expose your show to that might give it a chance. And I'm one of those people, if I see a really cool graphic and I kind of dig the vibe of the show, I'm definitely going to go check it out. And it doesn't mean I always stick around. I've had some where I love the artwork, loved everything about it. And then I listened and it just wasn't for me. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, nothing is for everyone. But when you think you're doing a decent job, a good job, you would just want more people to at least, that's what I'm doing it for. I want people to enjoy it. It's like, I don't want 1 million listeners where I can get paid. Like I said, I wouldn't mind getting paid, but I do it to entertain. I love it. It's a chance for me and my friend to hang out and talk about things and see what happens. So what are some suggestions you might have to grow your social media impression list? Okay, like I said, I don't want 10,000 followers and then we're still at the same thing. Then what have I really done here? And I've even thought about deleting the Twitter account, starting over, being more selective on who I follow, but I don't know that would do much either. So that's it. Just want to put something out, kind of podcast related. I want to start doing that more often. I want to show you kind of maybe how I do things, how I get the show going. I'll do that in the future, but I just want to reach out to the podcast, other, artists, entertainers, that community, and just what's something that's worked for you that you don't mind sharing with us. So hopefully you'll do that. If so, just reach us in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what your podcast is about and your goals for success. So that's it, guys. If you're interested in my podcast, it's called Blame Your Brother. It's on all the podcast platforms, and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. we stream the show live on YouTube. We get some pretty good interactions there. It's a nice group of people that check that out, so that's cool as well. So anyways, that's it. I hope you guys are having a great week, and go check out the podcast, and I'll talk to you guys sooner than later.